Hi guys, it seems that many of you have been looking at the Dell Latitude 5410. So I decided to do a review of one of the base specs and give you an idea whether this laptop is really worth it. And I see that this laptop is one of the lower price laptops available from the Latitude series. And so that's a positive thing, and we're going to go through the base specs. This is the cheapest one that is available on Dell's website, but it goes up, and while the price goes up, of course, some of the features also goes up. I think that overall, initially, I see a fairly reasonable price, but let's go through the specs and we'll confirm this, and I will share my honest opinion on whether this laptop is worth buying at this point in time. So let's have a look at the pass mark for this processor. It's the i5 10210U. And it seems that it has a fairly decent pass mark. Anything over 5,000 is pretty good at this point in time. And we see that this one is 6539. We see that it has 4 cores and 8 threads, so it means that it has a quad-core processor, but it can actually run 8 things simultaneously, mostly at the same time. So you should experience a fairly decent amount of multitasking capabilities. It also runs at 10 watts of power, so 10 watts, between 10 watts and 25 watts of power, which is the usual norm. So it means that it's gonna be fairly decent at battery conservation. So I would expect that if this runs on a standard 4-cell battery, that this laptop is probably going to be able to power on for maybe 6 to 8 hours. So that's good. So we see a good processor. Anything over 10,000 is amazing. All right, so this is a fairly in-between processor at this point in time. Definitely good enough though for business purposes, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, etc. All right, so that's good. Let's have a look. We get Windows 10 Pro. That's also good because if you're in a business environment and use Active Directory or if you log into Windows Server and that kind of stuff, this is capable of connecting to your domain, etc. It comes with 8 gigs of RAM, and I think that this is quite standard nowadays. Most laptops come with 8 gigs. More of the economy laptops give you 4 gigs of RAM. 8 gigs is totally fine for running Windows. It will get you by definitely for browsing, even having like 8 windows open for browsing, and even running Word, Excel, PowerPoint. You should be able to do that and have 8 windows running as well, and that should be totally fine. Now, one of the issues that I see is that this laptop, and this is why the price is probably lower, is that this one runs the 7200 RPM drives. This is a mechanical drive, which means that it's going to be slower. And if I were to compare it with an SSD drive, you should expect boot time on this to be between 20 to 30 seconds based on the fact that it is using a mechanical drive. You do get a good half a gig of space, so that's good. You're definitely going to be able to have enough space to even put music if you want to put music, if you want to do stuff, have some photos, etc. This is enough space, but because of this mechanical drive, it's going to quite slow down the performance of this laptop. And so you would see that if you were to put in an SSD drive, you would see that this laptop is more than capable of running quite well and quite smooth. But with this 7200 RPM, you're going to see when you open apps, for example, it's going to take a little while to open your apps. And at that point in time, the machine is going to slow down a bit. With that being said, they don't really go into much more details. I think you can click on the slots. Okay, so they do have you do get an idea of the actual what you get on it, and it seems that it's quite standard as well to have at least 2 USB 3 ports. I do seem to see another one, so it's 3 USB-C ports. It seems to have I'm saying USB-C, a USB 3 ports, 3 of those, and it also has a USB-C port, which I guess you could use for other charging as well for the newer model of USB that is out. It also has, of course, a power adapter. I think it's an optional smart card reader, and it seems to come with a micro USB reader as well. and also an optional USIM. So I guess the USIM is for internet if you want to have that as well. Pretty standard. And I also think it has the mic. Yes, the mic and USB, the mic and headphone jack in one. So that's also fine as well. It's quite standard for most laptops. What's also interesting is it has an RJ45 jack, so you can actually plug in directly. So this is, catering for physical network that requires cable connection. So that's good as well. For the price, I would say overall this is not entirely bad. You can get a lot of economy laptops that will come with probably the same stats for a lot cheaper, and I'm talking about maybe between the range of 400 to maybe not 400, maybe about $500 to $700. So you can save by using an alternative brand, but that is a pretty decent brand, especially for the warranty that you get. Usually their service is quite good. I want to also say that this comes with a 14-inch display, which is nice because this is it's a perfect size for like traveling. It's not, of course, the smallest laptop, but again, it's going to be quite good for for traveling. It does seem to have a 220 nit anti-glare non-touch screen. This is not bad. This is not going to be quite bright. You're probably not going to be able to use this in sunlight, but that's fine because it's considered a business laptop, and hopefully you'll be using it for inside purposes. One of the things that it does not seem to mention is the graphics card, and this might be really for those of you who might be interested in games. Even though this is a business laptop, there might be someone who buys it for games. Oh, and it does actually say it here, Intel UHD graphics, and this is not going to be good for gaming. I need to tell you guys up front, that's not going to be good for gaming. You should not expect anything great from this. Low quality games for the most. Not that most of you may care about this, because again, this is a business laptop and most likely would be bought for business. But yeah, don't expect your kids to get any much fun out of it if you have to lend them it for any reason. It does come with a backlit keyboard. That's a good plus as well too for the price. Usually when a laptop has a backlit keyboard, it's generally 100 US more than its predecessor that doesn't come with it. So that's pretty good. Again, it's enticing, but not fully enticing in terms of the overall performance of it. And if you are on a budget, it does not come with a CD drive. I think that's really standard for most laptops now because of the size, the thinness of the laptops as well. And it does come with a standard. It comes with a 3-cell 42 watt hour battery, which is fine. It's going to give you, I would say, maybe 6 hours, considering that it has a spinning hard drive in there. You should expect about 6 hours of usage as well. You can apparently extend display over the Type-C port. That's good as well too. It means that if you do have like a new model monitor that supports Type-C USB, you should be able to extend your desktop to that port. I don't believe that this comes with a VGA port or a normal port. It does come with an HDMI port though, so you should be able to extend also to like a TV if that's necessary. And it does mention that it comes with 1 year of hardware warranty, which is a little bit of a downer because more economy brands, you can get 1 year. You can get up to 1 year for sometimes $700 US dollars. So again, you're paying that premium price for a Dell laptop. That's not always bad because again, there's different tiers for different people and what people can afford. Overall, I would not recommend this laptop if you really need a workhorse of a laptop and you really want something to run absolutely smooth all the time. I would suggest going with something that has an SSD, and that would also mean a higher price as well too. So with that being said, I hope that I helped you guys out in determining whether this would be a good laptop for you. If you are a power user trying to get your work done, I would stay away from this drive in particular. I think that's the main reason for slowing down this machine. So with that being said, thank you so much for viewing, and stay tuned to another episode of RTHD coming to a YouTube screen near you. Take care. Bye-bye.